15. Pyrrhonism, from the Greek philosopher Pyrrho around 360 BCE. You're scrolling, you see a headline, it feels true, then another, the opposite, and it also kinda makes sense. Your brain starts glitching. That's not indecision, that's Pyrrhonism. Pyrrhonism was the belief that truth is unknowable, not because we're dumb, but because reality is layered in contradiction. The more you try to be certain, the more you realize you can't be. So Pyrrhonists did something radical. They stopped picking sides. Literally, they walked through life withholding judgment on everything: war, gods, ethics, even their own thoughts. This wasn't laziness, it was discipline. They believed that by suspending certainty, you could escape the chaos of belief altogether and find peace. Sound familiar? Today we call it nuance or intellectual humility, but it's rare. We're constantly pressured to have a take, pick a team, be right, be loud. But Pyrrhonists lived in the quiet space between knowing and not knowing, and that's a philosophy most people practice accidentally every time they whisper, "Honestly, I don't even know what to think anymore." Number 14. Antinatalism. This is a modern term but has ancient roots in Stoicism, Buddhism, and Schopenhauer. You're at a family dinner. Someone asks, "So when are you having kids?" You laugh it off. But deep down you're thinking, why would I create someone just to suffer? That's antinatalism, the belief that bringing a child into the world is morally questionable because life guarantees suffering, and choosing to not create life, that's compassion. It sounds bleak, but it's not about hating life. It's about empathy. Antinatalists argue that no one consents to be born, and once you are, you inherit pain, grief, decay, death, without a choice. The philosophy isn't new. Buddhist monks renounced family life for similar reasons. Even ancient Stoics like Hegesias argued that non-existence might be preferable to pointless struggle. Today, antinatalism exists in quiet forms. The friend who says they don't want to raise someone in this world, the climate activist who thinks procreation is selfish, the couple who chooses not to pass on trauma. They're not nihilists, they're radical caregivers, refusing to hand someone else a knife with no handle. Number 13. Cynicism. Cynicism originated in ancient Greece around 400 BCE, founded by Antisthenes and later made famous by Diogenes, who rejected social norms to live in radical simplicity and honesty. You hear a corporate exec say, "We care about people." You laugh, not because it's funny, because it's fake. You weren't always like this, but now, you see through it all. That's not bitterness. That's cynicism, the OG kind. Before cynical meant grumpy Reddit energy, it was a hardcore philosophy. Founded by Diogenes, cynicism rejected everything artificial: wealth, status, reputation, social rules. Diogenes lived in a barrel. He ate scraps, barked at politicians, and once told Alexander the Great to move because he was blocking the sun. Cynics believed that real happiness came from radical simplicity. Strip away what society says you need, and you're free from expectations, from lies, from needing a LinkedIn bio to prove you matter. Modern cynicism still exists, but it's subtle. The guy who turns down a promotion to keep his evenings, the friend who deletes all their socials and seems weirdly calm, the coworker who says no thanks to every Zoom happy hour and is somehow the happiest person on the team. It's not pessimism, it's freedom from pretending. Number 12. Hedonic adaptation awareness. You get the thing you wanted, the job, the shoes, the partner. It's amazing, for about 4 days. Then, it's just life again. That's hedonic adaptation. The tendency of humans to return to a baseline level of happiness no matter what changes. It's not a glitch, it's how the brain protects itself from being overwhelmed by pleasure. But here's the thing, once you're aware of it, everything changes. You stop chasing highs, you stop expecting achievements to heal you. You start seeing joy not as a finish line, but as something that flickers, not stays. Buddhists knew this, Stoics too. The realization that nothing, no status, no toy, no trip, will fix you is oddly relaxing. Modern life runs on distraction, hedonic awareness. It's the quiet rebellion of choosing presence over pursuit. Number 11. Zeticism. Comes from ancient Greek philosophy, from the word zeteo, meaning to seek. You see 2 headlines. One says, "It's all fake." The other says, "It's all proven." And something in you whispers, "I don't believe either." That's Zeticism, the philosophy of never assuming you've found the answer. Zetetics aren't skeptics, they're seekers. They don't disbelieve, they just keep asking. This mindset shows up in science, philosophy, even spiritual exploration. Zetetic thinkers walk the line between open-minded and never satisfied. And in today's world, where every scroll is a claim, a take, a 7-second certainty, the Zetetic feels alien. They're the ones still reading source material, still asking, "Yeah, but why?" Still willing to say, "I haven't made up my mind yet." Zeticism isn't indecisive, it's rigorous humility, and if that feels familiar, if you're constantly skeptical of narratives but still hunting for truth, congrats. You're a quiet philosopher in a world of hot takes. Number 10. Anarcho-pragmatism. This one is not in textbooks, but alive on Reddit, Discord, and in shared Google Sheets everywhere. You don't trust most systems, but instead of burning them down, you just build new ones. Quietly, locally, without permission. That's anarcho-pragmatism, the belief that institutions are flawed, but utopia is overrated. So, we improvise. It's not about chaos, it's about opting out while still getting things done. Fix the community fridge, start a mutual aid group, host a Discord for people tired of everything but still trying. The anarchist part, no waiting for permission. The pragmatic part, it still works. You won't find this in political theory class, but you'll see it in co-working co-ops, open source projects, and people organizing without leaders, hierarchies, or suits. It's a worldview with no manifesto, just one principle. If the system's broken, don't debate it, replace it. Number 9. Apophatic philosophy, also called the via negativa, Latin for the negative way. You can't describe what you want, you just know what it's not. That's apophatic thinking, defining truth by subtraction. In theology, mystics used it to describe God. Not this, not that, not anything finite. Whatever remains must be closer to the truth. But it applies far beyond religion. Ever left a party and thought, well, not that again? Or ended a relationship and realized it taught you more about what you need by showing you what you don't? That's apophatic. Life as process of elimination. In a world obsessed with bold declarations and clear goals, this philosophy embraces the in-between. It respects silence, ambiguity, the half-formed knowing that says, I don't have the answer, but I'm closer now. Not addition, subtraction.